What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jayok here, and welcome to round 2 of our season 2 playoffs here in our custom league on 2K21. As you see right here, the bracket has the number 1 seed New York Eclipse, the defending champs, taking on the 5 seed Pittsburgh Union out east in a rematch of round 1 from last year. And then at the bottom part, we got these upset-minded squads in the 6-seeded Mississippi Mastadons and the 7-seed Cleveland Rebels taking on each other for a spot in the conference finals. Should be a fun one there. Out west, we have the upsets continuing. Starting it out, the 4-seeded LA Palms will be taking on the 8-seeded Alaska Explorers. Let's see if the Explorers can keep the upset trail continuing after taking down the reigning Western Conference champion St. Louis Rivermen in round 1. And on the other side, we got the LA Knights taking on the 6-seeded Las Vegas Dealers. The Dealers hungry to get back to where they were last year. Conference finals appearance last year for them before losing Kyrie in game 1 of that series and losing that series to St. Louis. So we'll see what happens there. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8 out west, and then we got 1, 5, 6, 7 in the east. Should be a fun one. Hope you guys are excited for this. It's going to be the same format I was planning on doing in round 1, where we simcast and hop into games in the last 2 minutes if they're close. So we'll see if we can get some gameplay this time and not delete it. If I do delete it, then I mean, conference finals and finals, we're going to be watching the games actually. So actually, conference finals, I'm planning on hopping into the 4th quarter if it's a close game, the whole 4th quarter. But the finals, we're watching the whole game, doesn't matter. So hope you guys are excited for this. Let's go ahead, sit back, relax, and get into the action of round 2. Las Vegas, the number 6 seed, trying to be the 2nd straight 6 seed from the west to go to the conference finals after St. Louis did it last year in our first year in this league. And in game 1, an impressive 85-63 victory over the 2-seeded LA Knights. Josh Green led the way with 12 points for the Knights on 3 of 14 shooting. DeRozan only had 4 points. Porzingis 8 points. Yeah, no bueno for the Knights in game 1. For the Dealers, Kyrie leading the way with 23 points. Zion had 12 points. We had Jay Crowder, Gallinari, and Whiteside each with 9 points. Just really great team effort in game 1 of this series. Game 1 between the 6-seeded Mississippi Mastadons and the 7-seed Cleveland Rebels goes to the visiting Rebels by 21 by a final score of 91-70. Kawhi leading the way with 17 points for the Mastodons. Killian Hayes had 16. Marquise Chris had 10 and 11. Duncan Robinson had 9. Ayo had 9. I mean, everybody that played for them scored. But coming over here to the box score for Cleveland, you couldn't stop Jimmy Butler. He dropped 22. Gary Trent had 20. Ben Simmons had 14. Kyle Kuzma had 13. Yeah, a really good game, especially when you have 2 players score 20 plus. 4 players in double figures, that's definitely going to win you a game. So Cleveland takes a 1-0 series lead. We got the 4-seed LA Palms and the 8-seed Alaska Explorers. And in game 1 of this series, the 8-seed will keep their Cinderella story going with a game 1 victory, 79-52. Markelle Fultz leading the way for the Palms with 13 points in this one. Wiggins, 3 points on 1 of 10 shooting. Where's Tatum? Didn't even score and got in foul trouble. Wow. For the Explorers, Jamal Murray was in his bag with 25 points to lead the way. DeAndre Ayton had 18 and 14. Jonathan Isaac helped out with 13 also. Really impressive game 1 victory for the Explorers on the road. 3 players in double figures, 2 of them almost. Well, 8 and 2 points away from 20 points, but had 2 players with over 20. Big reason why they now have themselves a 1-0 series lead. So let's see if the 8-seed Explorers can keep it up. These two matched up in round 1 last year as the defending champion New York Eclipse and the Pittsburgh Union get their rematch this year, and Pittsburgh on the road takes game 1, so the road team goes 4-for-4 in game 1s here in round 2. A 78-71 victory for the Union. Giannis leading the way with 23 and 11. Moses Moody 17 points. OG Anunoby had 10 points. Elfrid Payton didn't shoot the ball well. Bogdanovich shot the ball very bad. Not a good effort by New York. Terry Rozier leading the way with 18 for the Union. Gilgeous-Alexander had 15. Kobe White had 12. Boy J.D. Hager 9 and 8. Malik Monk 8 points off the bench. Impressive road victory in game 1 for the Union. Game 2 of this series between the LA Knights and Las Vegas Dealers is another road blowout victory by the Dealers, 97-72. They have themselves a 2-0 series lead. DeRozan came to play for the Knights. He had 26 points. Josh Green had 16 to help out. DeJounte Murray 10 points. Then it fell off after that. For the Dealers, though, Kyrie was in his bag. 30 points for him. Zion had 14. We got, who's this? Tyrell Terry. He had 13 points off the bench to help out. Jay Crowder had 12 points. Look at all these people that scored this many points. Big reason why Las Vegas now has themselves a 2-0 series lead. Big performance on the road in the first 2 games. Now the series will shift to Vegas for game 3. Game 2 of this series goes to Cleveland as the road team continues to impress in round 2 as they now are 6-0. Cleveland 2-0 series lead after a 69-57 victory. It was Killian Hayes leading the way with 13 points. Bad shooting performance for him though. Same thing for Kawhi, only 9 points. Julius Randle had 9 and 12. Not a really good performance right here for Mississippi. Jimmy Butler 14 points to lead the way. Kyle Kuzma had 12 points. Dennis Schroeder with 12. Ben Simmons only had 8. Yeah, everybody that played scored for Cleveland. 1 double-figure scorer compared to 3. So, yeah, Cleveland 2-0 series lead. That's the series heads to your home court. So let's see what happens with that. The LA Palms are able to tie this series at 1 apiece with a 64-61 victory. Markelle Fultz 16 points to lead the way for the Palms. Jason Tatum had 14. Wiggins shot the ball so bad, 4 of 15, 9 points. Mo Bamba didn't score but had 14 rebounds. Good game for him right there. Buddy Hield leading the way with 12 points for the Explorers. Jordan Poole had 10 points. Kyra Lewis 8 points off the bench. Didn't really shoot the ball well. Hit his free throws though. Jamal Murray struggles. 3 of 17, only 7 points for him. as we have ourselves a tied series moving to Alaska now. Game 2 ties the series back up also with New York, the defending champs, with a 75-57 victory over Pittsburgh. Giannis 20 points to lead the way. OG had 14, Moody had 10, Jared Allen with 8 and 12. As you see, everybody that played scored for the Eclipse in this one. For the Union, it was Terry Rozier with 16 points. Gilgeous Alexander had 11. My boy JD didn't shoot the ball too bad. He didn't shoot the ball well. 3 of 12, but he had 6 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Good game for him. Everybody scored here. The only problem was they could not stop Giannis and company from getting the victory. So the series now shifts to Pittsburgh with a 1-1 series. 3 games, 3 blowouts for the Dealers. An 85-64 home victory to take a 3-0 series lead. As Las Vegas looks to get back to the conference finals this year. Got there last year. Kyrie got hurt in game 1, and the rest of the series you saw what happened. Kyrie led the way with 26 points for him. Zion had 19. Luke Kennard had 11 points off the bench. Perfect shooting performance for him. Whiteside had 9 and 12. Jay Crowder 8 and 6. Really impressive game. Capella didn't score but had 12 rebounds. Didn't even take a shot at him. That's impressive. DeRozan leading the way, 18 points for the Knights. Porzingis had 10 points and 7 rebounds. DeJounte Murray 9 points. Yeah, not looking good for the Knights. They are now down 3-0 in this series, needing a big win in Game 4 to at least keep the series going to at least 5. Game 3 of this series features the road team winning again in this series as Mississippi wins 88-73 to get a game in this series, down 2-1 now. Jimmy Butler led the way for Cleveland with 19 points. Kuzma had 16. Miles Bridges, right? Yep, Miles Bridges, 11 points for him. Ben Simmons had 9 points. It wasn't a bad performance by this team. Gary Trent, 20 minutes and didn't score. That's the only problem right there. For the Mastadons, it was Kawhi Leonard. I don't even know why I was about to mispronounce his name. And Julius Randle, both of them dropped 20 points in this one. Sadiq Bey had 14 to help out. Just look at all these players that scored 7+ points. That's crazy. Much needed win for Mississippi, though, to get back in this series, down 2-1 now. See if they can tie the series up at 2 apiece in Game 4. LA on the road with a big fourth quarter to come back and win 79-74 to take a 2-1 series lead against the Explorers. Jamal Murray led the way with 21 points. DeAndre Ayton had 12 and 12. Jordan Poole with 11. Buddy Hield with 10. 4 players in double figures, and they lost this game. That's so crazy. Jason Tatum had 22. Markelle Fultz had 18. Marcus Smart with 16. Big reason why they won this game, almost having 3 players up there at 20 points. Andrew Wiggins still struggling from the floor. Only dropped 8 points on 4-12 shooting. It's just been a struggle for Wiggins in this series. But LA now has themselves a 2-1 series lead. So let's see if the Explorers can tie the series up in Game 4 or if the Palms are going to go up 3-1. New York on the road in Game 3 with a blowout, 87-50. It's a final right here as the Eclipse take a 2-1 series lead. And honestly, they might not lose another game this series. The way that they dominated this one. Alex Burks led the way for Pittsburgh with 10 points off the bench. And you see everybody else is not here. Ibaka fouled out. Just not a good performance by them. Only 1 player in double figures, and you come over here and see 4. Giannis 21 and 11. OG Anunoby with 15. IT had 12. Bogdanovich with 11. Like, yeah, you're not gonna beat the team that had 4 players in double figures to your 1, and it's a player off the bench. Pittsburgh's now down 2-1. They need to win Game 4. I really feel like this series is over. The LA Knights take Game 4 of this series, 86-60. So it looks like if Vegas wins this series in 5, it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I want to see LA at least get it to 6, though. 86-60 victory. Zion led the way with 16 points for the Dealers. Kyrie had 7. Didn't really shoot the ball well. Over here, yeah, 5 players in double figures. Yep, that's why they won this game. Jonte had 18. DeRozan had 17. Porzingis, Aaron Holiday, and Boogie each with 11 points. So that's a huge reason why they won this game. I think them 3 or these 5 by themselves output. Let's see, 11, 22, 33. That's 33, but 17 is 50. 68. Yeah, these 5 just outscored the Dealers by themselves. So LA at least forces Game 5, so let's see if they can force Game 6 or if Las Vegas is just gonna finish the series off. Cleveland bounces back with a home win in Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead. 76-69 is a final. Miles Bridges leading the way with 17 points for the Rebels. Gary Trent had 15. Jimmy Butler 14. Ben Simmons with 12 for 4 players in double figures, that's definitely going to help you if you're trying to win a game. Kawhi did everything he could for Mississippi. 29 points for him. Derek White had 13. Julius Randle with 10. Duncan Robinson, 7 points off the bench. Didn't have an answer for all these scores right here for Cleveland. So Kawhi and the troops are now down 3-1, looking to come back in this series. Let's see if they can at least force a game 6, or if Cleveland's going to finish off the series. Alaska pulls out a close one, 60-59 as a final to tie the series back up at 2 apiece. DeAndre Ayton 12 and 18 to lead the way for the Explorers. Scotty Barnes had 10 and 8. Yeah, shoot numbers ain't looking good right there. 3 of 10, 3 of 13. No bueno. No bueno. For the Palms, Markelle had 16, Jason Tatum had 16, Wiggins had 12. And then the drop off. Marcus Smart 1 of 10. That's bad. That's no good at all. But Alaska ties the series back up at 2 apiece. Now the series heads to LA for a big, important Game 5. Winner of Game 5 will probably end up winning the series. So let's see what happens in Game 5. Another blowout win by the Eclipse to take a 3-1 series lead. And it's looking like this series is about to be wrapped up. 87-57. Gilgeous-Alexander led the way with 18 for the Union. Got Rozier with 12 points. Malik Monk with 12 points. J.D. Hager with 8 and 7. Kobe White missed all shot attempts that he took. Not good. Giannis had 33 and 14. Yep, he's looking to finish this one up. Bogdanovich had 12. Moses Moody with 11. Yeah, Giannis is trying to finish this one up already. He's like, yeah, let's just get this over with. Get it over with. Alright, New York's going home, looking to finish out this series. Pittsburgh's looking to force a Game 6, so let's see what happens. Las Vegas finishes off the gentleman's sweep with a 78-56 victory on the road to move back to the conference finals this year. They'll take on the winner of LA Palms and the Alaska Explorers. Porzingis 12 points to lead the way for the night. Aaron Holiday had 10 points. DeRozan only 7 points. Josh Green 2 of 13 shooting. No good. Just no good at all. Congrats to the Knights on a successful season. Didn't make the playoffs last year, and then this year racked off 50 wins and the number 2 seed. Just ran into a really good and really determined Las Vegas team that's looking to get back to the conference finals and actually finish the job off this year. The Dealers, were led by Zion, 21 points. Yeah, Kyrie with 17, and Luke Kennard had 15 to help out. Big time win, big time team performance for the Dealers as they move back to the conference finals. And like I said, they're looking to finish what they started last year as they got to the finals last year. Kyrie getting hurt was like a major blow. They had a shot to get to the finals. Maybe we get that Las Vegas New York matchup that we were thinking we were going to get last year. Might happen this year. Who knows? We'll see. But congrats Las Vegas on moving on to the conference finals, and congrats to the Knights on a successful season getting the number 2 seed. So let's finish up the video with the other 3 series. The Cleveland Rebels make Custom League history just in year 2 as being the lowest seed to make the conference finals with an 88-60 win to finish off this series in 5, as the 7-seeded Cleveland Rebels will now be taking on, it's looking like the New York Eclipse, but we'll give Pittsburgh a chance in it. Mississippi was led by Kawhi's 15 points. Killian Hayes had 12 points. Ayo had 11. Then after that, production kind of drops off. Not really good shooting numbers down here. for Mississippi in this one. For the Rebels, it was Jimmy Butler putting on the show with 25 points. Ben Simmons helped him out with 17. Dennis Schroeder with 11. Kyle Kuzma with 10 points. All these players almost got the double figures. Rudy Gobert only scored 2 points, but had 17 rebounds. Oturo 3 points, 9 rebounds. Like, really good numbers for Cleveland. So the 7th seed keeps their season alive and moves on to the conference finals. For Mississippi, first year as an expansion team, and they made it to the second round as the 6th seed. Great season for them. We'll see what happens in their future. But congrats on a great season, and congrats to Cleveland on moving on to the conference finals. The most important game in this series is Game 5, and Alaska now has a 3-2 series lead with an 85-70 victory over LA. LA was led by Markelle Fultz, 30 points. He was in his bag tonight. Marcus Smart had 11. We had Jason Tatum with 11 points. Wiggins still shooting poorly from the floor. Okay, after that, like, look at that. Only 6 players scored. That's the reason why you lost this game. Oh my God. Jamal 23. Buddy Hield 20. DeAndre Ayton 14 and 20. That's wild. That really just happened. That's wild. That really just happened. Woo! Alaska, the 8th seed, looking to get to the conference finals. Game 6 coming up. The defending champs finished the job off here in Game 5 with a 74-63 victory, and will move to the conference finals and take on the Cleveland Rebels. We have Moody leading the way with 13 for the Eclipse. Bogdanovich had 12. OG had 10. Giannis 10 and 13. Derek Favors with 10. You have 5 players scoring 10 plus points. That's a big reason why you win the game. Gilgeous-Alexander had 14. Rocco, he had 10 points. Malik Monk with 10 points. Kobe White 9 points. JD struggled 2 of 11, 7 and 6 for him. But congrats Pittsburgh. They made it to the playoffs for a second straight year, and for the second straight year, we're sent home by the Eclipse. New York, the 1 seed, defending champs. Can they get a repeat? We'll find out with the conference finals. We'll preview that after we finish up with round 2. So let's move on to game 6 for the LA Palms and the Alaska Explorers. LA with an 85-66 road win to force a win or go home game 7 in this series. Jamal Murray 24 points to lead the way for the Explorers. Didn't have any help. That's Thaddeus Young with 10 points off the bench. Buddy Hield 9 points. Yeah, it's just not good for Alaska. Now they have to go on the road and win Game 7. That's going to be very tough. But 2 of their wins in this series have been in LA, so they have a big shot right here. For the Palms, Andrew Wiggins finally shows up. 23 points for him. Fultz had 19. Jason Tatum with 11. Big game, big, much needed win to keep the season alive for them. So now we have a win or go home Game 7 in LA. Can the Explorers punch me in the face for saying that Cleveland is the lowest seed to ever get to the conference finals and become the first 8 seed to make it there? Or is LA just going to finish the job and set up a matchup with Las Vegas? Let's find out. Alaska punches me in the mouth and says, we're the lowest seed to get to the conference finals. The 8 seed Explorers are Cinderella story, and they keep it moving with a 91-63 road victory in Game 7 to advance to the conference finals to take on the Las Vegas Dealers. For the Palms, it was Wiggins leading the way with 11 points. He shot the ball very poorly, and then after that, fell apart. Jason Tatum didn't really score the ball. They tried to score like that, only 7 shot attempts. Not good for LA, but a good season. 4 seed after missing the playoffs they made the playoffs at 3 seed last year and got eliminated in the first round. But good season for them. But the 8 seed, the Cinderella story, keep it going. Jamal Murray 22, Buddy Hield 21 to lead the way for the Explorers in this one. Kyra Lewis helped out with 11 points off the bench. Much needed win to keep the season alive. The Explorers are the Cinderella story this year, as they will move on to the conference finals to take on Las Vegas. So we will preview that now. Congrats to all the teams that made it this far. But now we're stuck to our final 4. We have in the East the 1-seeded New York Eclipse and the 7-seeded Cleveland Rebels. And out west, the 6-seeded Las Vegas Dealers and the 8-seed Alaska Explorers. So this should be a fun conference finals. Let's go ahead and preview that and finish up this video. Alright guys, you don't see me right now because you're not going to see me on the video face to face for a second. Just because I'm, going through some things, so I'm not going to show my face for a second. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop making videos, as we're going to go ahead and finish up this video right here with the preview of the conference finals, and we'll start it out in the Eastern Conference with the number 1 seed defending champion New York Eclipse, as they will be taking on the 7-seeded Cleveland Rebels. As you see both teams' stats right here, New York averaging 79.1 points per game so far in the playoffs and only allowing 64.2, with Giannis leading the way at 23.9 points per game. And New York so far, the first 2 rounds, have gotten by in 5 games in each series, taking down Arizona in the first round in 5, and then just now taking down Pittsburgh in 5. Their opponent's going to be the 7-seeded Cleveland Rebels, who are averaging 78.7 points per game and allowing 70.7 points a game. And Jimmy Butler is leading the way for them with 19.7 points per game. And so far, in round 1, they upset the 2-seeded Toronto Dragons in 7 games, and then they took down the 6-seeded Mississippi Mastadons in 5 games in the last series. So both teams coming off 5-game series. As we take a look at their season series against each other, and the New York Eclipse and Cleveland Rebels split the series 1-1, both teams winning on their home courts, and they played back-to-back days, with Cleveland winning May 20th in Cleveland by a score of 86-70, and New York winning the 22nd in New York by a score of 96-71. So this should be a fun series. You can't sleep on Cleveland because of how successful they've been so far in this playoffs. I mean, they upset the 2-seeded Toronto team, and then I thought Mississippi was going to go to work in this last series, but it didn't happen. So for the series prediction, I'm going to be taking New York to get back to the finals. I just feel like Giannis and company is destined to get back to the finals and try to get that repeat before we move on to 2K22 and rebrand every team. But I feel like New York is just destined to get back to the finals this year, and I think they're gonna kind of handle Cleveland easily. I'm gonna say the New York Eclipse are gonna win this series in 5 games. I feel like they're just gonna dominate this series. I feel like Jimmy Butler and company can get at least 1 game in. I would love to see them get 2 in. Hopefully push this series to 6, but my gut feeling's just saying that New York's gonna win this series in 5. So I'm gonna take the New York Eclipse to win the Eastern Conference Finals over the Cleveland Rebels in 5 games. We will now finish up the conference finals preview with the Western Conference, as we will see the number 6 seeded Las Vegas Dealers and the number 8 seeded Alaska Explorers. The Explorers have been the story of the playoffs so far, as you see what's been going on right now with Alaska upsetting the 1 seeded St. Louis Rivermen in 6 games, and then upsetting the 4 seeded Los Angeles Palms in 7 last series that you just saw. So now we're getting into their series against Las Vegas. Las Vegas in the first round swept Idaho and then got by the 2 seeded LA Knights in 5. So both teams pulling upsets to get to where they're at. Of course, Vegas, as you see with the stats on the screen, averaging 80.3 points per game. That's the most of any team left in the playoffs, and they're allowing 66.9 points per game, with Kyrie leading the way at 17.8 points per game. For Alaska, they're averaging 73.8 points and giving up 69.5 a game, with Jamal Murray leading the way at 17.5 points a game. Looking at their season series against each other, and it was a split, both teams winning on their home courts. Vegas won January 6th by a score of 100-91, and Alaska won March 28th by a score of 81-71. So there it is, another split. I think this is definitely going to be a fun series. Las Vegas was in this situation last year where they got to the conference finals, and Kyrie got hurt game 1. They ended up losing that game and losing the series. So, Kyrie's destined to lead the team to the finals this year. And I am going to be picking Las Vegas to get to the finals. But Alaska, they have been a fun story, man. They are the Cinderella team. They've been hooping out this playoff, like I said, upsetting the 1 seed and then upsetting the 4 seed right after. Vegas upset the 3 and 2 seeds, so both these teams knocked out the top 4 seeds on their way to the conference finals. I just feel like Las Vegas, with Kyrie, he's destined to get to the finals this year. I think it's going to be a fun, competitive series. My prediction is going to be 6 games, but I would not be surprised if this series went all 7, just because Alaska is just a feisty team. They've been causing problems this whole playoffs. I would not be surprised if this series does go all 7, but I'm going to take Las Vegas. The Aces. I said Aces, my bad. The Dealers. Woo! Las Vegas Aces. Shout out WNBA. But I will be taking the Las Vegas Dealers to win the Western Conference Finals over the Alaska Explorers in 6 games. So that will wrap up this video. Hope you guys are excited about the conference finals. Let me know below who you guys have winning each series. We're getting close to the end of our time on 2K21. Like I said, Season 3, we're moving over to 2K22. So I hope you guys are ready for that. If you guys still want to create your own custom prospect and you haven't already, go ahead and fill that the Google form below in the description. It'll be down there. Just make sure you guys fill it out. Trying to get a bunch of you guys. I think we got about 15, 16 filled in right now. You guys will be rookies the first year on 2K22. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for all the love and support, man. We're going to keep this series going as long as possible as you guys just keep supporting it. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on push notifications so you don't miss an upload. And with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one.